Welcome back, everybody. This is the thejonnymar, and I am continuing with Stardew Valley. So we have finally done it. We have reached the final episode of this particular series as we have gotten to the last 3 days of winter. And so we will be finishing up with the series and our final season here of our first year as a Joja member. We'll have clear weather and some somewhat annoyed spirits. Oh darn. But yes, it has been 3.5 years roughly since I started this series. And we're finally finishing up here. We just have a couple more days to go through, a few more things to do around the farm. And the big thing we'll be doing in this particular episode is apparently looking for an albacore. Gee, Gus, thanks for bringing this on us late in the series. That is not easy to find. You can get it in winter, but it has to be either early in the morning or during the nighttime. So we'll have to try to find a time to get one of those fish. So we'll be checking out the traveling merchant a few more times. We'll be heading over to Krobus as well to get an iridium sprinkler, and then we're going to spend a lot of time on Ginger Island over the next couple days. But nothing we want. And then we will get our iridium sprinkler from Krobus for any future play that we might do. And then today is a day we're going to spend some time in Clint's shop here because it is his birthday. Yay! Which means you get a piece of coral, Clint. You're so lucky. I don't just give that to anybody. I give it to everybody. Except my wife. She gets the good stuff, but you get normal gifts on your birthday. I'm glad you liked it. And then we do have a bunch of stuff here to process. But we're going to be heading to Ginger Island, spending quite a bit of time there. I do have a massive harvest to do. We'll be spending a lot of time off camera doing that. And then, of course, I do want to also explore the Volcano mine, because that is something that was added in those later patches. Ooh, we got some iridium ore. And that might be a new thing to add to the museum. I think we already got marble, though. There's actually a couple different levels to the Volcano cave, or mine. There's the initial, I believe, 5 levels that you can go down through. Oh, a new reward. It's been a while since we got something. You get a chair and some triple shot espresso. That's nice. We'll add that to our war chest for going through the mines. That'll speed us up for quite a while. I think it lasts longer than a standard cup of coffee. And we have Bixite. Interesting. But yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of harvesting here, and I'll meet you back on the farm afterwards. Maybe with an albacore. Alright, so we caught an albacore. So we're going to give that to Gus to finish off this particular quest. It will be the final quest we complete in this playthrough. We do not have the ability to finish any of those other ones. We just don't have enough time. Thanks a million? Are you going to give me 1,000,000 gold? Or thanks 400? Good enough, I guess. But there we go. That is the first day of our final 3 days. We're able to catch an albacore, did a massive harvest on Ginger Island. So we get, around 60,000. Just about. Lots of stuff that we had there. Mostly cranberries, but of course, a few other things as well, and some of those mixed seeds. And then tomorrow, like I said, we're going to spend a lot of time in the mines on Ginger Island in the volcano. And then any time we have left on the final day of the season and the playthrough, we will spend in the mines as well, except here in Stardew Valley, so that we can try to find another purple mushroom. We're not going to be able to finish that particular part of the raccoon quest, but it would be nice to just kind of find the mushrooms so that I can actually get that going, even if we can't actually finish it in the series. We'll put it on the back burner. Like I said, maybe I'll come back to the series someday. Do year 2. So that's why we're still doing some preparation work, getting sprinklers and stuff like that, just in case we do happen to come back to the series someday. Although more likely I will do a patch 1.7 playthrough, if anything, and I'll just do a community center run without using Joja. So I can show off that particular type of questing as well. Salmon dinner? What about the albacore I gave you? But alright, we're going to head through the mines here. We're going to drink our triple shot. That'll speed us up, and then we do need to use our watering can here. We're just going to try to dodge things. We don't have a ton of time here. My goal is just to show as much as I can. I'm hoping to get down at least to the 5 floors and then show off kind of the midpoint where you get to talk to a dwarf merchant. But as you can see, we have a lot of very powerful stones here that take quite a bit to get through. And we're able to find some golden walnuts as well. There's lots of stuff we can acquire, and there are some pretty annoying enemies like these fire enemies. They're a bit like those skull enemies from when we went through the cave to find the golden sickle. And then we have these guys as well, which they will explode once you get them to the point where they are dead. But the challenge here is to not get overwhelmed, so not get too many of these fireballs on the screen, because they can end up getting very erratic, and then they can start hitting you from a lot of different angles. But as you can see, we have a couple switches here that we're going to have to hit in order to open that door. What is that? Interesting. Let me through. Jeez, we're getting lots of golden walnuts. Can we kill this thing? I guess it just has a lot of hit points. So now I have to find the other switch, which could be anywhere on this particular level. You'll notice there are these little areas as well that have enemies inside. From forgotten societies, maybe dwarf society, I suppose. We have those fire slimes too, which are very annoying to kill. They're very fast, and geez, they can do a lot of damage if you give them a chance. They can hit you over and over again. That's kind of the mantra and the MO here in the Volcano, is that the enemies hit very hard. They are very similar to the enemies in the Skull Cavern. So you can lose a lot of life very quickly if you are not paying attention. Which is why we have all of those food items, just in case we need them. I'm not doing a full run here, so I'm not going to go all the way down to the lowest level, which I believe is a level 10 or 9 or 11 or something like that. Like I said, I think there's 2 different kind of zones of 5 levels, but there might be 3. It's been a long time since I've done this. The ultimate goal is when you get down to, I believe, the deepest level, you are able to craft improved weapons and stuff by adding things to your weapons and maybe your armor as well, your rings. Can we get through? Yes. Now, do I want to take the regular path here, or do we want to go the lava path? So this is something you can do. You can head through the lava. Obviously, we were able to do that to get into this particular mine. The annoying thing is, of course, that sometimes when you do this, you get all the way to the top of the screen, and the exit for the next level is actually contained within the walls of the land route. And so then you're not able to actually progress to the exit. Okay, let's switch to our sword here. These stupid fire enemies remind me of the Son of Sun enemy from Chrono Trigger in the future. Is that its name? The enemy that guarded the Sunstone when you're trying to do that particular side quest. Oh man. That was a really annoying enemy in that game. Let's drink this tonic. Because you couldn't damage it directly, you had to damage its little avatars around it. And it was always a pain to try to find the one that would actually work. Wasn't so bad in terms of like the damage because there were a lot of armors in the game that would negate or absorb fire attacks. But it was still annoying because you couldn't use mass magic spells like Luminaire or things like that to kill him. Eek. I'm getting low here on health. Alright, let's eat something else. Let's have some cookies. I don't know if these are the ones from Evelyn or if they're the ones from our parents. But we want to get up a little bit higher here. We'll do a shrimp cocktail too, just to top things off. We don't need that. Obviously that improves our fishing as well, which we're not going to be doing in this episode. I decided not to do a lot of fishing for this series. Like I said, if we do another series, maybe patch 1.7, then I'll probably show off the normal community center route. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. Instead of the Joja route, and then I will also probably do a lot more fishing. But we're getting a lot of these cinder shards. You actually need those for various things that you might want to do here on Ginger Island. So getting collections of them, storing them up, that's a good thing to do. But we are on floor 4, so we should be just about done. I believe it's just floor 5 that is the halfway point. And here we are. So we have Parrot, who will give us a shortcut for 5 walnuts. You have a water area that you can refill your watering can with. And then you have the Dwarf Merchant. And then it continues onward if you choose to do so. So I believe you do need to have the Dwarf Dictionary or whatever to be able to speak the Dwarf language, to be able to talk to this dwarf. Otherwise you can't check out his wares here, which he has good stuff, but he's one of those specialty merchants that, you know, sells stuff that is unique with special items that you have to give him in order to get the stuff. Or she, I suppose. So we're not going to buy any of that stuff, not the pink bow either. We will get the recipes though, because why not? And then if you choose to, you can continue onward, but I do not have time. And I do not have the energy to continue onward. I don't think we're going to get all the way down. So we are just going to call it there for going through the mines. That was a good approximation of what it's like to go through the mines. You have to get more and more efficient, get through the levels as quickly as possible. Once you do get to the lowest level, I believe you're able to do a shortcut that's a permanent shortcut. It's to the right of the door when you come into the mines of the volcano. And then that opens, and then I think it allows you to go back down to the lowest level automatically. So you don't have to keep going through all the floors just to use the reward at the lowest level. But again, it's been a long time since I've done any of that, so I could be talking out of my butt. Any good luck today? Mildly perturbed on this final day of the series. And we do learn one final recipe. Cranberry candy. No thanks. Cranberries are not my bag. I do like them at holiday time. Cranberry sauce. But I don't really like them in any other form. And Haley, of course, will not be paying attention to our daughter. Yeah, we'll be spending a lot of time together in the new year. This isn't going to go dark and I'm never going to see you again or anything like that. You'll notice we have a lot of our skills at 10, except combat. And then fishing, of course, fell behind because we really did not do a lot of fishing. And we didn't get anyone to 10 or even 8 hearts. Well, maybe we got a couple to 8 hearts. But Haley was the only one we got maxed out. We did get quite a few of them up to 5 or more. And then I believe most of them are at least at 2 hearts. Or 3. Very few are at 2. Somehow we got Sebastian to 3. Poor Alex. That's surprising. And then Krobus and the dwarf, obviously we don't really interact with too much, so. And then our pets are also maxed out. So let's do our final chores and head to the mines. We'll have one more stop at the traveling merchant here, see if there's anything of note. Then I'll head through the mines, see if we can find anything, a final purple mushroom, and then we'll call it from there. Red Fez, interesting. This was another door added in a later patch. I've never actually opened it, but you have to get all of your skills to max. And then we do have one more item to drop off here at the museum as well. But I do want to say thank you to everyone who's watched this series, especially if you've watched the whole time. I know it's been a long time since I started the series. It's taken a long time to finish it. Like I said, 3.5 years or so. Started back in late 2022. Seems like forever ago. But we are finally finishing up, and I'm looking forward to moving on to some other series. But let's head into the mines now and do a little bit of mining, see if we can find some purple mushrooms. Well, we ended on 4. Didn't find 5. 4 regular, 4 silver quality. That's unfortunate. And this is alluding to a necklace that you can fish out of the water that is next to the sauna / hot bath area up north of town. And then you give that to Abigail. I think it's Caroline's. But alright, Connie, good night. Sweet dreams. Hope you have a good life. We may never see you again. Good night, Haley. Good night, Jericho. It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end. So as always, viewers, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this series. Thank you for the continued support. And I will see you all in my next episode of whatever series I continue on from here. So long. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and leave a comment below. Please also subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell. See you next time.